Okay, so you got it for free. The ones who bought the online courses, okay, you paid more or less than 200 euros, let's say. Shout. Okay. Who paid more? How much, the maximum that you pay, how much was it? 500? 400, okay, good. How many of you ever created an online course? All right, what topic? What's your name? Oligos, what's the topic? Okay, many courses. Other courses creator in the hall? Over there? Okay. I was very skeptic about online courses until 3 years ago. And then I decided to try. I'm always skeptic in the beginning. I thought, I don't know. I don't think it will work. Like Wikipedia, when they launched Wikipedia, I thought, no way, it will never go anywhere, and it was working very well. So, but I tried to do online courses. I think I have 4 online courses, and I've sold tens of thousands of dollars in online courses. I have one course on TechCrunch University. So I started to completely change my mind. I thought, wow, there is definitely a big change. People goes online, they don't get only free stuff, that if you provide value and create good content, people are going to buy. So it's a very, very interesting business, I think, and it's a shifting culture. So let's try to go deeper in these 2 topics, and we have 2 great speakers. So please welcome on stage the founder of Eduson TV, Elena Masolova. Hey, Elena, how are you going? I will start immediately with you, with your presentation, and then we go to the next speaker, but first I would like to hear your voice, please.
Thanks. Hi, everyone. Let me tell you about the revolution in education which is coming, and I agree with lots of points which Daphne outlined. So we really believe that the next 30 years will see dramatic changes. So in 3 years from now, teachers will be popular and rich like rock stars. This is true. We already see this coming. An English language teacher 2 years ago made $2 million at a Korean project mega study. And you all know Khan Academy, lectures by Salman Khan were viewed by 268 million viewers. So this is really great. This is more than some of Madonna hits. He's really popular, and some of the teachers are really rich. Not 25 people will sit in the class, but 25 million people, and I'm absolutely sure this projection of ours. Because for the first time, internet access gives us the ability, well, potentially 1 billion people can sit and watch the same video. This is possible. Study groups will be mixed and they will be truly international. Will the Italians procrastinate and will the Koreans do all the job? Well, we don't know. Let's see. Let's look. More than half of the population over 60 will be studying. Because the population is aging, but they are active, they are healthy, they have lots of time. So there won't be separate universities for 60-year-old, but all of a sudden you'll get to know that your classmate went to Beatles concerts, and he is in the same group as you and maybe doing even better. Or your grandfather just flunked the test and you can talk to him. A student degree will include courses from various universities and various online platforms. So you don't need to go to one place. You can go to 10 websites or 10 physical universities and take all of them. So it's like building a Lego house. And each student will have their own education track. So it's no longer one size fits all, one program for all the students. Your track will be personal, and the speed with which you progress will be also personal. The question is that at first, employers, of course, will be shocked, but they will have to get used to this, and they will finally acknowledge such degrees, such diplomas. Harvard and other elite universities will have to open hundreds and hundreds of branches around the world. If they don't do this, they will just die, and that's the reason why. By 2020, in China alone, 21 million students will be studying at universities. So think of this number, 51 million. So, for example, Stanford Business School has 350 graduates per year. The numbers are just non-comparable. So if you want, if Harvard and elite universities want to compete, they need to open lots of local branches. Another billion people in Asia will move to the cities, and they will want to study. So they are hardworking. Bricks and mortar schools, traditional schools, can't feed them all. So they don't have any other option than to go online. This is fun. We believe that, like in NBA or in hockey, employers will be paying for education of the best students, and they will actually draft the best students and select them. So it won't be the government or parents paying for education. It will be the employers. 50% of all universities will collapse by 2028, and this is the prediction of Clayton Christensen, professor at Harvard Business School. So he advises to pray for Harvard, because if they don't accept changes, they will just die. Unheard of professions such as genetic engineering will be taught. Last year, I saw a job opening at genetic programming. So this sounds really crazy. At first, it's of course making some changes into food genes. Then it's mice, but then it's people. So it's not that far as we think. Of course, governments will make this illegal, will prohibit it, but parents want Olympic champions, parents want beauty queens, sports heroes, etc. So they will experiment with this. And education system needs to catch up, because the jobs, professions have not been invented yet, but they already need to prepare for it. We are absolutely sure that by 2037, robots with artificial intelligence will be teaching our kids. And in New York, primitive robots are already teaching children arithmetic. So this is simple, but this is already beginning. Let's face it, really, the education system right now is broken. Traditional schools can't accept all those willing to study. For example, in India, you either need to open 51,000 bricks and mortar campuses, or you can just embrace online education, promote online education. More and more students are going to universities. 51 million in China. In OECD countries, the percentage of people is 61%. This is highest ever, but then they drop out because they don't like the universities, they're expensive, they bring zero value. In US, 61% people drop out and don't continue the education in the university. The number is crazy, so really think about this. The costs for education are insane. $1 trillion debt in US alone. So we have no doubts that this system is not stable, it will collapse. Who will pay for education in future? Not the government, not the parents. We think it's employers. So employers will cover the costs for the best students. So education is expensive and practically useless, because since 15th century, schooling has not changed. We still teach children to memorize. We don't teach them to think, to be creative, to present their thoughts, etc., etc. And no doubt that South Korea President Lee says, skip college and go to work. Or Peter Thiel pays $50,000 to college dropouts to leave college and start their own startup, start their project. So the change is already happening, and step one is the flipped classroom. So what it is? Children watch the lessons at home, and then they do homework in school. So basically we turn the things upside down. Bad grades can no longer be hidden from your parents. Since last year, schools in Russia have adopted electronic diaries, so parents now see all the grades. And of course, the MOOCs. University of Phoenix has more than 600,000 online students. MIT enrolled 150,000 students for one course. This is more than the number of alumni combined in the history of MIT. This is crazy. And this has started in the latest 2 years. To hell with degree, practical experience is more important. We all know that in the world of startups, Y Combinator means more than having Harvard degree. New York University will open a campus in Abu Dhabi, and they have 15,000 applications for 150 places. And this is a beautiful illustration of the trend which I was talking about. So there will be lots and lots of campuses worldwide, because this is the only choice. The avalanche which we see will disrupt absolutely every element of traditional education. So they won't be studying by semester. Instead, you can start at every moment at your convenience, and you can study all the year round. Your curriculum will be individualized, and your pace, the speed at which you progress, will be individualized. You won't need to travel to school, and you can even take your exams remotely. Instead of hard copy textbooks, you will have e-textbooks, e-diaries, e-boards, etc. A teacher lecture will be recorded, so the person won't be standing in front of the classroom. Kids will help their grandparents with their homework, and not vice versa. So I find this funny. If now a teacher is able to expel the student from the classroom, now a student can just turn off the boring teacher and not listen to him anymore. So we really see all those hundreds and hundreds of things which are changing. And if schools and universities don't want to be buried by this avalanche, they need to change right now. Students should become more active, should become the driver, know their direction, be motivated, and move forward. The most important slide for me is why are we all doing this? Why are we in education? Because nothing in the world can compare with the impact of education. Right now we have around 1 billion of people, active, productive people in labor force around the world. But imagine what can happen if we pull 1 billion people, another billion people out of poverty and make them doctors, coders, writers, and they contribute to the society. This is doubling the number of productive workers worldwide. I represent Eduson. We started this change, so we record lectures for Wharton, London Business School professors, Merrill Lynch, Mail Group executives, and then we make them accessible online. So people from Brazil, China, India, Russia, and US watch the courses. You can use the code ROBOT. It will add $39 to your balance at Eduson TV. And thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much. Take a seat, please. I'll just get this one for, wow, impressive. Everything will change, basically. When I went to school, I had no internet. Could you believe that? How many of you did not have internet at school? No, but because it didn't simply exist. I'm really old. And no mobile phone. I got mobile phone later. If we only had this technology, how better could we be? All right, cool. How many of you have kids? Sure. No, in that column, no one has got kids. No one. Guys, let's work a little bit. No, sorry, no one. Okay. I think it's changing a lot for parents. I have 4 kids, I told you, and the 4th is coming. And thanks for the applause for my ability to do kids. That is a hard work, I know. The men understand, you know. It's hard, it's not easy. But it was not expected. So, no, but it's changing a lot for parents. When I talk with my kids and I try to explain something, they immediately check online and they say, oh, wait a second, what did you say? Put a scarf on because it's cold, otherwise you get sick. Ah, no, it's scientifically not proved. In 1 second, you have to improve, you know, your knowledge as a parent. So it's changing everything. All right, let's go to the next speaker. Very interesting, talking about also online learning and word of translation. We have the CEO and co-founder of Busuu, Bernhard Niesner. Hey Bernhard, welcome on stage. But first, I would like to show a video that gives you the idea of Busuu. Just check the video first.
El silbo es un medio de comunicación a distancias largas.
No, el silbo solo sirve para comunicarse.
Este lenguaje silbado vino del norte de África con los primeros pobladores que llegaron aquí a Canarias.
Y se ha implantado de manera obligatoria hace 3 años en todos los centros escolares de la isla.
Si muere la cultura, estamos perdidos, eso está claro.
Ahora no silban, ahora tú no te enteras de nada. Ahora se pone más que el móvil en la oreja. Y no le dejaron nada. Eso es una enfermedad, mi niña, como un ordenador. Los ordenadores esos son enfermedades.
Hay lugares donde el teléfono no vale porque pierde cobertura, mientras que el silbo no la pierde.
Yo misma sé marcar primero con el silbo que con el teléfono.
El perro y una oveja y una cabra entiende el silbo.
Y yo las llamo por el silbo y me viene de donde yo estoy.
No le vamos a silbar lo mismo a un perro o a una oveja que a un humano, claro. Con el humano puedes hablar, con el perro no.
Es necesario por las rocas, por las profundidades, por las montañas. Pero si es cualquier otro idioma, las palabras se pueden decir igual, porque esto es fonético, ¿eh?
Tú puedes pronunciar hello y lo silbas hello.
Learn Silvo Gomero with Busuu.com. Busuu.com, the language learning community.
Bernhard, if you do the presentation whistling like that, I will give you a standing ovation because it's impossible.
I think it's going to be difficult, to be honest. Privet Kiev, how are you doing? Yeah, there are weird languages out there. There are more than 6,000 languages in the world, and actually 3,000 are on the verge of extinction. So please raise your hands if you have ever learned a foreign language. Obviously, quite a lot of people. And interestingly, it's incredibly boring, it's time-consuming, it's expensive. But then again, there are like 1 billion people out there at the moment learning English. It's going to be 2 billion by the year 2020. And people are spending massive amount of money. It's a 200 billion industry. We from Busuu, we are a social network for language learning. So we combine individual courses with community learning. So you have online courses in 12 different languages, audiovisual courses, and you can practice your skills directly with the native speakers of our community. So let's meet Evelyn. She's from Vienna like myself. She's around 60. She's not my mother, but she's a hardcore user of Busuu. She spends several hours a day learning languages. She has learned 5 languages with us, and she loves correcting other people. She has corrected more than 12,000 exercises in German of other users. She tells me she gets up in the morning very early because otherwise the Germans get up and correct all their students. We have one user from Australia which has corrected more than 120,000 exercises completely for free, just for fun. I once sent her an email thanking her for her efforts, and she wrote me back correcting my email. So she's really into this correction. We also do mobile apps, so we have an app for iOS and for Android, and we also do something for kids. If you have a kid, like you have 4, so send them over to our iPad application. You can learn Spanish and English. And after 5 years, we have now grown the company to 35 million users. We have been also named Best Education Startup in Europe by TechCrunch. And at the moment, we're growing at around 40,000 people a day. So if you visualize that, actually sitting here, you don't realize it, but we are in a stadium. We're actually in this stadium. And we're able to fill up this stadium every 2 days with users. We grow a lot in emerging markets. And I think, as had been mentioned beforehand, there's a big demand in emerging markets, especially also for language education. It's not about a hobby, it's more a route to success. The taxi driver in Kiev can probably make more money with myself if he speaks a little bit of English. So we're growing in Brazil, in Russia, so it's massive demand in emerging countries. So after 5 years of doing Busuu, we realized that actually the biggest challenge in education, and it applies probably online and offline, is not affordability. I think it's all about the motivation. It's really tough to keep the motivation up and continue with the learning. We all know it. There's so many distractions out there. There's Facebook, there's Twitter. Are you going to sit down and do your studies online? Well, you need a lot of motivation. So what have we learned in order to overcome this problem? Well, we believe a lot in quantification. It's about you know, I know a bit of Spanish, I want to improve my Spanish. So what does this mean? Like, how can we cut it down in little pieces that you can consume it on a daily basis? We learn a lot from running apps like Runtastic or from Jawbone. It's all about quantification of yourself, quantify the progress. The power of the community is strong. We see a lot of more engagement if people then have friends, if they compete with their own friends in the learning progress. So it's all about social learning, not sitting alone at home by yourself, but rather do it with your friends together. The power of the Busuu berries. So we have an internal currency called Busuu berry. It's pretty useless in real life, but people love it on the website. We get calls by users thinking that we've deleted them 5 Busuu berries, and they get very angry about it. And it's something people love. They love to collect those berries. They love to compete with the berries against their friends. It's gamification. We have a language tree. Each language you learn, the tree grows. If you're lazy, we send you emails that your tree is about to shrink. So it's all about gamification, bringing back the fun in learning. So what's next in education? So we grow at the moment 60% more on mobile. So especially again in emerging market, there's much more mobile penetration than desktop penetration. So people are accessing online education content via their mobile phones. We also believe a lot in blended learning. It's not all about online. I do believe that universities have to change and they have to integrate much more technologies in the classroom. And finally, we are a big believer in adaptive learning, like Daphne mentioned as well. We have so much data. We track the user progress of each individual student. We are able exactly to tell who has made which mistakes, when did you saw the vocabulary the last time. So we should be able to offer a complete customized learning experience, because the book is all the same, but we can customize our platform to your individual needs. So there's lots of going on in the industry, and we believe that technology is there in order to disrupt education. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Bernhard. Thank you so much. Take a seat. And I just have, you know, some doubt. I will sit for the first time in 2 days. Okay, good. Feel good. One problem that I personally saw on my skin, so when I try to sell an online course, is that people are not engaged. So a high percentage of people who buy a course, maybe for $400, $500, they don't do it. They just buy the course, and I don't know why they don't do it. So often I write an email and say, hey, do the course. I mean, you buy the course, do my course. And I don't know why. So how do you solve this engagement part? We start with Bernhard and then we go on.
Yeah, as mentioned, I mean, probably it's pretty representative, online engagement and offline engagement. I mean, if you would do a university course and there's no degree at the end, I mean, how many people would really finish it off?
Right.
So I believe we as online company, we need to come up with creative ideas in order to keep the people engaged. And as mentioned, it's a lot about knowing exactly where are you going, so how much is still missing in your specific course,
right.
How much should you be doing every day. We also believe a lot in mobile, so we could send push notifications exactly at the time when you're in the bus, so we know when is the best time for you to learn. And the community, I mean, competition is a big thing, and if you know that your friend is doing more in your course than yourself, I think that also inspires people to learn.
So it's all this gamification approach that you're using.
Exactly.
Elena, what's your recipe for engagement?
Well, my previous company was Pixonic. Gaming company, so I understand a bit about gaming, and I think that it can improve your numbers 5%, 10%, but it won't improve them 10 times. So this is a problem. What can improve the engagement 10 times is super strong motivation. It can be a degree, or it can be a job. From my personal experience, I was studying for 1.5 years remotely at Stanford. I was in Moscow and I was studying at Stanford. Condoleezza Rice was one of our teachers. So for me, this Stanford was the thing which kept me going, even though it was super difficult.
Okay.
As for the jobs, right now this is the key problem for all the online courses and all the MOOCs, because they are somewhere in the air. The course is not connected to employer, and this is wrong with the market. So 3 weeks from now, we will launch a service which for the first time will connect courses with actually employers. And then you have this motivation. If you want to go to McKinsey, do those courses and they will interview you. If you want to go to Goldman Sachs, do them and they will look at your CV.
Okay.
So I believe in this because this is very strong. This shall drag the people.
It's a good hook. How
Yes.
big is, Bernhard, for you the CE market? I mean, is this part of the world really going online for courses or
Yeah,
less than other countries that you're in?
Definitely. So CE is the second biggest market for us after Latin America. We have, including Russia, the total region around 4.2 million users in this area, and we're growing at around 5,000 users a day in CEE.
Okay,
So it's big.
Quite big.
Absolutely.
And how important is, Elena, to have in this part localized course in your language? Because I think, you know, country again like Spain, Italy, and so on, or you do it in their language, or is no way that they will get a course in English?
Honestly, that is critical for the success. If you don't localize it, you won't succeed. We launched in April, and we launched only in English. But very soon, 2 months from start, we understood that you just need to have Portuguese version for Brazil, Russian version for Russia. So we started localizing content, and the numbers are dramatically better for the localized content.
All right.
It's
Guys,
like 70% engagement compared to 7%, so it's 10 times different.
Okay. Just show me your hand if you want to get some tip from our guest. I go there. Can I get another ice cream? Which is the mic, just the mic, if you have that one. Thanks, Vlad. All right. I'm coming to you. Because I have a few questions, but definitely. Hi there. When I was doing a show, television show on Sky News, the first rule that they taught me was never give the mic to the audience like that. So you always keep but I trust you, okay? Also because this column has got no kids, so you can't be bad, okay?
Thank you a lot.
All right.
Thank you both for
your
great...
name, sorry?
My name is Victoria. Thank you both for great presentation, but I have a question. Schools and universities not only the place where you came just to study. You also came there to communicate with other children, to communicate with other students, and that build you at least like a person. So how you will your projects will solve this problem? Because if people will communicate only through the internet, that will be a great place to grow for some strangest persons.
Oh, excellent question. Actually, if you look at Coursera, you will see that they are organizing lots of meetups. Actually, the audience by itself is organizing lots of meetups, and they meet in various cities of the world and communicate. I didn't have time to talk about Kepler. This is the project in Rwanda. So the city where, the country where clearly elite professors are not likely to learn, to study, to teach at their universities. But what they are doing, this is blended. This is the so-called blended learning. When you watch videos of elite universities, Harvard and other universities, and then you visit workshops with local instructor. So local instructor does not need to be educated of this same level education as the professor. So this is the model which scales because you can shoot videos once and then have lots of instructors. So this is probably the answer.
Bernhard, on this take?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think the future lies in blended learning. We asked our users, we did an online study with like 45,000 users and asked them, how would you like to learn a language? And the first choice was going abroad. Because obviously, if you can choose to, let's say, go to Madrid in the sun and drink a bit of sangria and learn Spanish, you would definitely prefer that to an online course. But then again, in the emerging markets, if you are, let's say, in a very remote place in Brazil, you might not have access to a native speaker. And then the only way to really improve maybe your communication skills is online. So I think it will be always a mixture. We don't want to, create some people who just sit strangely at home and are not able to communicate with other people, but rather it will be a mix of both, I think.
Yeah, so two words co-leading. Is anyone else? But also I think probably also the kind of topic, because if you go very specific, I mean, I was watching it was not a course, but I need to learn how to do scrambled eggs, okay? I moved to UK, I couldn't cook. And I went online and I just found these videos from Gordon Ramsay, who is a famous chef. And I was there, you know, learning. I can't cook anymore, but still, you know, it's something specific, so I didn't need any connection for it, and I just want that topic. So probably it depends by the sector, isn't it? Please, I come to you. Here we are, same trust.
Hey, my name is Volodymyr, and I have a question. How do you actually get to complete a course? I'm sure most of the present here have signed up for Coursera or similar, and well, like me personally, I have failed to complete and get a certificate in most of them. So have you been surveying any of the successful finishers, and what do they do and how are they?
Yeah.
Is it just pure motivation or something else?
That's interesting. Yeah.
We have discussed this previously, but in short, so there are four basic things which can keep people. First, other people. So if you study in a group remotely or connect to them personally, then you have guilt or shame or just you have help from those guys. So first is studying with another group of people. The second thing is maybe some monetary motivation. If the person completes the course on time, he gets 30% money back. Well, this probably will motivate some people. But the two most important, as I already told, motivators, as I see them, are diploma and the job. And we are working on this, on the last one, on the job, finally, to connect courses with employers.
Yeah, okay. We have another question here. Your name?
My name is Alexander. I have a question. There was an article a few months ago at The Economist, and they believe in a mixed system where campus would still exist, but they employ less maybe professors, they do more online things or video lectures, but campus exists purely like place where students socialize, where they work together as a team, I don't know, they go to parties, they do all traditional things. So do you believe in that mixed model? Thank you.
You don't need to believe or not believe in this model. This is what is happening. This is where everyone is going, and this is clear. Look, for example, at executive education. So this is how it works. The guys who can't go to, can't leave their jobs for 2 years, usually top level executives, they choose executive MBA, which usually means that once every 2 months they come and meet physically for 1.5 weeks to maybe 2 weeks, and all the and this is the personal communication. All the rest is done remotely. So this is where it's going.
And also, yeah, I just would add that I saw, for instance, Creative Live. They do kind of workshops with the physical audience there, but you can follow the workshop online, so that there is a lot of mixed combinations over there.
Absolutely. No, I completely agree. I mean, as mentioned beforehand, I think the future lies in blended learning. And I don't know, I mean, I did an MBA in Spain, and by no means I would have liked to do that online. You cannot replicate everything, the network, the connections, the friendships in an online world. So there has to be a mixed version.
Your name?
Hello, my name is Dmitry. Sorry for my voice, but I have a question. So we are mostly talking about like higher level education. So higher education, executives education, and education for people who really want to study and who are putting efforts to study. And also we are talking about people in the suburbs, let's say, who still want to learn. So people who didn't have possibility to learn, but they really want to learn. But there are also people who doesn't want to learn. And now when we have some schools and we force people to go to school, so they still socialize and they still interact with teachers, they get something. And when we go more and more online, wouldn't we get some problems there? Wouldn't we get people who didn't want and we do not force them, and there will be issue? What do you think about that? Any thoughts?
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not sure whether I fully understand the question, but of course you cannot force someone to learn. You can't really do it offline and you can't do it online, but the idea is that the whole concept of learning changes completely. I mean, now if you think about learning, it's all very negative and it's boring, and that what should change. I mean, it should be like a game. So kids play a lot on the computer, and it should be exactly with the learning. So it should not be this 1 hour where you have to sit down and do your homework, but rather a game gamified way where you actually learn something without noticing that you're learning in that moment.
Okay.
So I guess the question was that right now all the developed countries have 10-year compulsory education, and what will happen if we move this to online? Won't it happen that too many people will drop out? So I'm not afraid of this for a clear reason. So this will be the flipped classroom model. So still this 10-year education and passing the exam will be compulsory, but some people will make it in 7 years, like my father, for example. Some will make it in 12 years. Because they will have their individual pace, the individual speed of progression, their individual curriculum, and it will be the flipped classroom. So they will still go to school, just maybe they will make it less frequent, and they will make it not in order to listen to the teacher and just write down everything which he or she is saying, but to do the homework, explain some difficult tasks, maybe present something to the class. So the format will be different, but still there will be this structure and an exam in the end.
This way. I have one last question. If you have a last question, I give it to you, the privilege. All right, man. What's your name? Dima. Hey, Dima. Here we are.
Grazie. My name is Dima. I have a question, quite provocative, but what can kill your business? Because we know we now have ideas about the future due to the videos from Microsoft, whatever, about neuro-linguistic remembering. We had before Elena Davidova's courses, while you're sleeping, you're remembering. So what could kill your business, and what is your benchmark?
I can tell you who is trying to kill our business. So right now, this happened in April and May this year. Harvard and Stanford and all the elite universities are one after another accepting policies which prohibit to their professors participating in any kind of online activities without the direct written permission of the dean. So this means that those universities are finally understand the danger coming from us from online courses, and they are completely right, because we are trying to take quite a share from the pie, from their revenue. So they are trying to make those barriers, but still I don't believe this, because building walls has never proven to be a successful strategy. So short term, maybe yes, it will create some difficulties for us to take the teachers, but still we managed to take Wharton, LBS, and we go to adjunct professors and lots of other speakers, but they are trying to do this. So large elite universities are our enemies.
All right. Do you have any specific competitor or enemy that you fear?
No, not really. But I think what is a certain issue is having education completely for free, and it's offered a lot. And I'm not necessarily convinced that it should be 100% for free. It should be affordable. And I think once education is good, people are also prepared to pay for it. And once they pay, they might also have a higher incentive to actually then continue. So we are quite confident that we're not going to be killed.
Guys, thank you so much, really. Thanks so much. Online education, very interesting topic. Thanks.